That's just going to hit different tonight because that is back-to-back dubs for the Arizona State Sun Devils. Guys, welcome into the PHNX Sun Devil Show. I am Anthony Totri. We got DJ Danielle behind the Mac today, and it is time for a post-game show. Like I said, to kick this thing off, the second straight one for Arizona State. The Sun Devils taking down the Sam Houston Bearkats 78-61 at DFA. We got a jam-packed post-game show for everybody tonight. We've got closing time with some key takeaways if you watch this Arizona State basketball game. We've got an update to the Bobby board. Stick around to see what Bobby face we have. We've got Aftertaste, the most sus segment we probably have on this entire network. We've got Heat Index, bottle service, and so much more. Hit that like button if you're new here. Leave a 5-star review and tell us what you love about this podcast. BC kicking it off in the chat. Should have won by 30, but we'll take it. BC also saying go Forks. Danny in the chat. Good win, which of course I couldn't watch. Yeah, Pac-12 Network. It is what it is. Will in the chat. Free throws and 3 points are still a concern, but rebounding was much better. Yeah, let's go ahead and dive into what we saw just from an initial reaction standpoint from Arizona State's 17-point win over the Bearcats. Starting off with the defense, right? The Arizona State offense has had its hiccups throughout the start of the season, but the Arizona State defense has been humming through and through, and that was no different tonight. Frankie Collins, Alonzo, Gaffney doing exactly what they've done all season long on that defensive side. Tonight, though, instead of just creating those extra opportunities on offense, we saw this group look like an actual unit. In games past, it hasn't looked like these guys have actually been practicing with one another. At times, it's almost like Bobby sat them down, everybody went in a circle, said 2 facts about themselves, and that's the only sort of practice they have with one another. But tonight, and in games past, specifically their last win, it actually looked like this was a team. It wasn't just a bunch of quote-unquote transfers, freshmen, and a few returners. This looks like an Arizona State basketball team. And like I said, if there's one thing that we've seen from Bobby Hurley's Arizona State teams in years past, it's that while the offense is trying to figure it out, the defense finds ways to get it done. And the defense did that tonight, creating those extra opportunities for the offense. You look specifically, Arizona State tonight forcing 15 turnovers. The Sun Devils had 8 steals, 7 blocks, and only 10 turnovers themselves, right? And that's obviously all led by Frankie Collins, who we'll get into a little bit later in the show. But Frankie Collins, another phenomenal night with 3 steals. He's one of the top defenders in the nation, not just the Pac-12. So give some love to Frankie Collins tonight. Also, when we're talking about this defense, the way that they are learning, or at least in my mind, looks like they're adapting to the interior presence that they have, right? Or maybe lack thereof. Sean Phillips obviously out tonight. Zane Meeks didn't play for Arizona State tonight. And you see, obviously, this is a team that lacks that 7-foot size. They've got guys, yes, like Alonzo, Gaffney, 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", but none of those true 10-footers. Kamari Land's another one at 6'8". These guys have to move differently, specifically those guards. When you see some of these other opposing teams decide that they're going to start taking it to the rim, taking it to the hoop, Arizona State finding ways to defend in more ways than one. And then, like we said, creating those extra offensive opportunities has been absolutely huge in those last 2 games. Arizona State tonight, just in terms of ball movement, right? Will in the chat, ball movement was a bright spot. How many times this season have we seen Arizona State struggle with moving the ball? We were there even points tonight. Yes, it was a 17-point win. Yes, BC said it earlier. It should have been more. But there are still times where you see maybe a little, it's just stagnant, right? There's not necessarily a bunch of guys moving, cutting, trying to get open, running these offensive plays. But tonight and the game before, it has looked a whole hell of a lot better. It doesn't look like you're watching one-on-one basketball. You're allowing each one of these guys to really get to their spot on the court and take care of their business the way that they absolutely need to. And then you talk about efficiency. This team shooting 51% from the field. Absolutely a huge marker for an offense that struggled, right? An offense that hasn't necessarily looked like a gelled group. Tonight, for me, was really the first time all season long where it felt like from start to finish, the offense, outside of a couple possessions, found ways to put the ball in the basket any way that they needed to. Whether it was from behind the arc, whether it was shooting free throws, whether it was driving and kicking out, doing anything that they needed to do, this ASU offense looked like the real deal. And the best part about it is, yes, Jose Perez, who we'll talk about, had his big night, but everybody got a turn, right? Every single person had their moment in tonight's game. And I think that's, again, what these great teams eventually do is, yes, there are stars here and there. Yes, they go for their 20-plus points a night. But each team has those contributors that have their moments throughout a game that keep a high-level offense moving, that keep that pace going. And tonight you saw that from Arizona State. Again, Sam Houston, not the greatest team, okay? They're not going to blow anybody away. They're probably not an NCAA tournament team this year. But, again, Arizona State will take the wins where they can get them. Steven in the chat, Frankie almost had a triple-double. And also to get back to Will's comment about, was Meeks injured? Yeah, Meeks out with an injury. Hopefully will be back soon. But yeah, Frankie tonight, almost a triple-double. Look, I'm going to take you behind the curtain. After halftime, I wanted to make Frankie Collins bottle service, but you couldn't obviously look away from what was actually happening in the game. So a little tease as to bottle service. But yeah, Frankie Collins had himself a hell of a night, man. And it's something that he has continued to do night in and night out, which is so damn impressive to me. It's almost like the football team, right? The football team, the one of the things that impressed me about that group this season was the resiliency they had week in, week out, being able to take a loss and then flush it and immediately focus up on your next task at hand. This ASU basketball team, specifically Frankie Collins, has found a way to do that every single game, and that shows a level of maturity that I feel like he didn't have, and a lot of the people at this level don't necessarily have, to be able to just turn it off and flush it away and get to the next game. Frankie Collins did that tonight, and he has done it every single game this season. I do want to get to one of my favorite segments, By the Numbers, presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers. Of course, the only one that matters is that final score. Arizona State coming out on top over Sam Houston, 78-61. We touched on it a little bit. The Sun Devils shooting much better from the field tonight, 51.6% than they have all season, and than Sam Houston, shooting just 35.3% from the field. You look at the way these two teams shot from behind the arc, just about dead similar. Sam Houston has the edge, 22.7% to ASU's 22.2%. Definitely some room for improvement for the Sun Devils. Another place for improvement for ASU, the charity stripe, just 8 of 19 from the free throw line. Sam Houston, 8 of 11, and then turnovers. The Bearkats with 15, the Sun Devils 10. Again, the number that stands out to me most here is that field goal percentage. Being able to shoot at such an efficient rate for a team that struggled so often, to be able to get the easy bucket, to be able to get a moment in the game where they're able to silence a run from their opponent. It's been few and far between, but tonight to be able to shoot at that rate, and again, like I said earlier, making it not just one person, letting Jemiah Neal get the action, Alonzo Gaffney get the action, Jose Perez, Frankie Collins, Braylon Green, everybody getting a piece of the pie tonight, I think was a huge part. Now, I do want to touch on those free throw numbers. I know it is a Meet Us on Mill. I know we're celebrating tonight. But again, just something to keep in the back of your mind. This team has been abysmal when it comes to being able to shoot from the charity stripe. What were they? 8 of 19 from the free throw line tonight? That's an 11-point differential that you could add to the score. ASU, they won by 17 tonight. Sounds a little better if we're talking about an 18-point or a 28-point win tonight, right? Like that just sounds differently, especially when you're in some of these close games that the Sun Devils have found themselves in at certain points in the season. You get a 7-point win, that 11 points, now it's an 18-point win. Or you have a 4-point loss, your 11-point swing, right? You end up winning that game. It's something that's going to matter down the stretch. JJ in the chat, get well soon, Zane Meeks. Sunday is the San Fran revenge game. Yeah, if we know anything, that is a game Zane Meeks has had circled on his calendar, and he absolutely wants the opportunity to get back in this lineup. Steve in the chat, why can't Frankie shoot free throws, man? I'll tell you what, Danielle can attest to this. I will be in here and I will scream every time that there is somebody that misses a free throw because it is so damn often. It's something we see all the time, Danielle, and it frustrates the hell out of me.
Literally all the time. All the time.
It's pain. It's pain. But didn't matter tonight. The 11 points, yeah, would have helped, but a win is a win. JJ, don't think I've seen a Sun Devil better at drawing contact, getting to the line purposefully than Jose Perez. Yeah, that's something you get when you get a little bit more of an experienced vet, right? You get a dude who's been playing college basketball for such a long time now that he understands the ins and the outs. He understands that when an offense needs a spark, just get to the free throw line and do what you have to do. Tonight, obviously, Jose did it at a more efficient rate, and we've seen Jose in the past have those 12 to 14-point games, and a lot of that is what he's doing from the charity stripe. Tonight, you saw what Jose Perez can do when his shots fall, right? When his shots fall and he's able to get to the charity line, and he looks like the real deal, right? To be able to score 20-plus points when, again, you've only been on this team now for, I want to say, less than 2 full months. Like, that's an impressive thing to be able to do. Again, trying to gel with an entirely new team. Look, we're going to continue talking about Arizona State's 17-point win. Before we do that, again, hit that like button and do us and yourself a solid. If you're trying to make it out to the next Arizona State basketball game, or if you want to check out Mullet Arena and see ASU hockey, maybe ASU baseball, ASU softball in just a few weeks to months, guys, get your tickets over at Game Time. Game Time, the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem that code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Now, I've been looking forward to this for more than just the show, but really all day. Guys, Arizona Lottery, the holiday scratchers are here from AZ Lottery, and they make last-minute shopping easy, and they make a perfect gift. There's literally scratchers for everybody on your list. Even if you know somebody out there that's a podcast host who likes to wear sunglasses indoors from time to time, that's me. They've got holiday scratchers for me too, okay? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to actually scratch this thing off and see what we can win here. Danielle, I'm hoping that we can get just like a little bit of love, and we can, I can't even see this with my sunglasses on, but I'm hoping that you and me, we'll split this, whatever we win here. Okay?
I like that. See, so on Coyotes yesterday, Leah won $2, and she committed that to buying just more lottery tickets, and I think we should have split it like 50 cents each. But if we get the 500,
that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Then I'm all for that.
Okay, so I have to reveal a little treasure to be able to get the actual prize here. That would be awesome if I could win on the very first try, because I never win anything. So to be able to say, hey, look what I got, would be awesome. Okay, so there's little emotes. So there's a hat, there's a candle, there's a globe, a coffee. Okay, I only have 2 more here. What is that? That's a holiday sweater. And nothing.
Dang it.
Damn. Well, look, there's so many opportunities to win. This was just $1. Could have won 500. I know there's another one in there that we have that we're going to be scratching that's like $2 and you can win 10K. Like the holiday scratchers, guys, they're worth exactly what you're paying. $1 to potentially win 500. Are you kidding me? Like, that's worth it. Also, top prizes up to $500,000. Okay, especially if you're going to win that. Go out and buy your holiday scratchers today. David in chat, donate 100% to former PHNX producers exiled to Wyoming. look, you were not exiled to Wyoming, okay, David? You were not exiled. David is one of my favorite former interns. He's actually, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody, David. David, you're my favorite former intern. And I wish you didn't move to Wyoming. But yeah, let's continue talking about Arizona State basketball. We already teased it, and I don't think there's anybody at home or anybody listening that is going to disagree with me on this one. But bottle service tonight, the one, the only, Jose Perez. Jose Perez killing it. This man had 24 points on 9 of 13 shooting, 1 of 2 from behind the arc, 5 of 7 from the charity stripe, 8 boards. He almost had a double-double tonight, 3 assists, a block, and a steal. Excuse me, this man went grocery shopping and put everything in the basket. He took one of everything. He said, I'm going to have a steal. I'm going to have a block. 3 assists, 8 boards, and then, give me 24 yams. That's exactly what Jose Perez did tonight. He stuffed the stat sheet. And look, listen, children, okay? All year long, I've asked, be the guy. Just one. Jemiah, be the guy. Frankie, be the guy. Gaffney, be the guy. Somebody, be the guy that's going to be there every single game and give you the points. That's going to give you the effort. That's going to give you the star power. That's going to give you the clutch moment when you need it. Jose Perez on November 29th against Sam Houston proved that he could be that guy. We've seen it. We've seen his 12, 13, 14-point nights where he gets to the line and he's able to get a few points to maybe give the ASU offense a little bit of life and to put some points on the stat sheet in his back pocket. Now he's taking shots, but they haven't hit at a consistent clip. Tonight, he hit from a consistent clip, only missing 4 shots and having, again, 24 points. Stand up and take a bow, Jose Perez, because if you could do this every single night, Arizona State's going to be just fine. If they've got a guy on their team that's a vet, that plays guard, that's a little bit bigger, that can score 24 and only make 1 3, only took 2, like, that's a great player. That's a great player, okay, that is able to do all of that stuff. Now, I'm going to make a comparison here, and I don't want people to lose their mind over it, but just a similar style of basketball that we're accustomed to seeing in the Pac-12. Jaime Jaquez. He plays like Jaime Jaquez and Chris Paul, right? He finds ways to draw contact, get to the charity stripe, while also being able to control and run the offense and score when he needs to. Jose Perez, again, he was the star for Arizona State tonight, and I don't think that is going to slow down. When you have a guy that has played college basketball for so long and has never truly been in that star role, and now he gets that opportunity at a Division I level with other experienced guys around him, with a coach in Bobby Hurley that's really just going to let him do what he wants to do, I think it's a great scenario. You just got to get that level of consistency. Will is absolutely right. Jose Perez was deep in his bag tonight. We'll see how deep that bag goes throughout the remainder of non-conference play, and then when you pick up some really difficult conference games. But in the meantime, again, Wednesday, November 29th, we're going to sit here and we're going to celebrate Jose Perez, and we're going to celebrate 3 of his teammates on the Heat Index because there were other Sun Devils tonight that contributed heavily. And I want to start with one that you may not think will be on here. Braylon Green, freshman. And look, his stat total is not going to be anything that blows you away. Okay, Braylon Green, just 2 points tonight, 2 assists, 2 steals, 9 minutes. The reason that he's on here tonight is because of the hustle, because of the ability, just 5-6 games into the season, to be able to go give this team minutes. Akil Watson could honestly be on here with Braylon Green. He had 5 points, a steal, a block in 16 minutes, right? So you're getting valuable effort, valuable stats, valuable hustle from freshmen early on in the season. It's kind of what we saw last year with Duke Brennan and Austin Nunez, right? These two, though, like the issue with last year's freshmen is they were contributing. Scoring was an issue for those two. This year, the scoring is coming, and it's coming early, right? Again, 7 points for freshmen tonight. and they played a combined 25 minutes. That's valuable. And you may not see the return on investment now, but come Pac-12 tournament, come the end of the conference play, you're going to see these guys be forced into roles that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And the reason that they're going to have the confidence in themselves to do it, the reason Bobby and his coaching staff are going to have the confidence to be able to set those guys up out there in those key moments is because of nights like tonight in a 17-point win, when you're able to allow Braylon Green and Akil Watson really let loose and play basketball, right? David in the chat, I miss Duke. Yeah, Duke Brennan, absolute certified dog over at GCU. But moving on with the Heat Index, the one, the only, Alonzo Gaffney. Are you kidding me? First bottle service in ASU's last win, and now the Heat Index, Michael Jordan called. He wants his skill back. 12 points from Senor Gaffney tonight, 6 of 9 from the field. And look, 0 of 3 from behind the arc. Not pretty, not great, but I'm going to forget about it because ASU got the dub. And Gaffney also had 6 boards, 2 assists, and 3 blocks. There was a moment in this game. A moment. I want to say there was 18 minutes to play in the second half. Gaffney had 3 blocks, and he had like 4 boards. And for those of you that don't remember, Sean DePaz has a bet with this program, okay? And if you don't know who Sean DePaz is, we're going to show you. We got a little leave a like button that has Sean on here somewhere. Sean bet that if Alonzo Gaffney this season got a double-double, but with rebounds and blocks, he would get Alonzo Gaffney's initials tattooed on his wrist, okay? So there was a moment in the game where, again, 3 blocks in, 4 boards, I thought about texting him. Being like, hey, Sean, watch out now, okay? We're going to have to find you a good tattoo artist over on the East Coast so that we can get Gaffney on your wrist, right? Like, that's the moment that I'm looking forward to most of the season. I believe it's going to happen. I couldn't tell you when. I couldn't tell you why. But I believe in Alonzo Gaffney to get that job done. But no, in all seriousness, Alonzo Gaffney, he stepped up massively here in the last week and a half for an Arizona State team that just needed somebody to do it. They just needed somebody to get up in front of the class, take the mic, and lead it. And that's what he's done. Again, he didn't lead the team in points tonight. He didn't have to. He didn't lead them in rebounds. But what has he done his entire career? Block shots. What did he do tonight? He blocked shots. While also being able to be efficient on offense. Again, we talk about these high scorers tonight. They missed a combined 6 shots or a combined 7 shots. Like, for 2 guys that ended up scoring 36 points combined, are you kidding me? To go 15 of 22? That's huge. That's huge for Arizona State to be able to have an efficient group of scorers when usually this season they haven't had any at all, right? So to be able to have Alonzo Gaffney do what he did tonight was huge. And if he can continue to have the success that he has had in the last 2 wins, then Arizona State is going to be just fine. And a reason they're going to be just fine is because Frankie Collins. Let's be real. Frankie Collins is a guy that I've already talked about. And like, there's probably people that are probably sick of me talking about Frankie Collins the way I do. He's a guy that gets it done. He's a gamer. He's a baller. A dude that laces up his shoes and like, he just wants to hoop. He wants to win. Okay? 12 points, 7 boards, 7 assists, 3 steals. He's all over the place, dude. This is a guy that wants to play basketball, and he wants to win. He's not a guy that's showy and cares about the numbers. Frankie Collins is a guy that every team would want, right? Not necessarily even for the skill, and he's a very talented, skillful player. But just for the sheer fact that you can never have enough gamers on your team. Dudes who just love the game of basketball and want to go out there, and it doesn't matter who's across from them, they want to beat them. And they're going to do everything in their power to beat them. When you're up nearly 20 points and you're diving for loose balls, that's a gamer. That's a baller. That's a dude that you want on your team in the starting lineup or not, right? Like, that's simply how it is. And Frankie Collins, when you get to conference play, he's been there. When you get to the Pac-12 tournament, he's been there. When you get to the NCAA tournament, he's been there. Frankie Collins has been everywhere that Arizona State wants to go this season. Maybe, again, not to a Pac-12 championship, Maybe not to an NCAA championship, but he's been there. He's been to the tournament. He's been to the Pac-12 tournament. He's played these conference teams. He's been on the road. He's been through streaks of wins. He's been through streaks of losses. Frankie Collins is your go-to guy, okay? And he's a gamer. And he's the dude that these freshmen are going to be looking up to. He's the dude that all of these other guys, when the moment gets too big and the lights are too bright and they need somebody to step up, he's going to be that guy. Absolutely, because he's been that guy, right? Frankie Collins is a certified baller, and Arizona State fans should be absolutely thanking the basketball gods that they get the opportunity that Frankie Collins is on their team, right? Because Frankie Collins is the kind of guy that he's on an opposing team. You're like, dude, this dude just won't stop hustling. Like, just chill, right? Just chill. Nah. Frankie's like that dude at, like, Lifetime or LA Fitness that you play basketball with on, like, Thursdays. And, like, he gives you everything he has, okay? He's the dude that shows up, headphones on, hood up, sweats, and he's just locked in. And that's Frankie. Legit, that's Frankie. He's just locked in all the time, man. But that is going to do it for Heat Index. Like I said, we're going to continue talking about this Arizona State 17-point win. And I want to know what you guys think the aftertaste of this game is. And we'll get into that right after I tell you about Hero Bread. Because Hero Bread, I'll tell you about that aftertaste. It is, and if you're listening on audio, that right there, that is the sound of a chef's kiss. Hero makes sliced breads, buns, and tortillas that are available on hero.co and Amazon. Okay, what makes them better than everybody else? Well, I'll tell you. First and foremost, aside from the fact that they have a bunch of different options, like I said, breads, buns, and tortillas, they're high fiber and or ultra low net carbs and 0 grams of sugar per slice. That is huge, especially when you've got the giant brands out there that don't necessarily care about how many carbs are in there, how many grams of sugar are in there. You could trust that when you are eating Hero Bread, that it is actually doing you and your body a solid. Right now, Hero Bread is offering listeners 10% off their first order. Just go to hero.co and use code PHNX to save on Hero Bread today. That is hero.co to save 10% today. Now, let's talk about something that makes whatever the taste of this game is better. OGs. Anytime that the wonderful folks from OGs come in the office and they give us packs of OGs, I stand at Max's office like a little puppy, just waiting for my owner to give me my toy. And Max does, because he's awesome at what he does. And I'm not kidding you, my tail wags like a dog when I get a pack of OGs, because the flavor is amazing. The effect is even better. And they're doing you guys a solid. Take advantage of this now, because literally it is about to run out, okay? Our buds at OGs Brands, they're back at it with exclusive deals for PHNX listeners only. And they've made it super easy for you to score these savings, okay? Get 25% off any OGs products at your neighborhood Zen Leaf location from now until November 30th, okay? Right now, I'm reading this to you at November 29th. So take advantage, okay? It's only active until November 30th when you place an online order and use our code. Just head to www.zenleafdispensaries.com, find your closest location, order your favorite OGs gummies for pickup, and enter discount code PHNX to get 25% off at checkout. This deal is exclusive to our PHNX listeners. And a reminder, it is available only for online/pickup orders. Discount code PHNX is active until November 30th. Danielle, how you doing? I feel like we haven't heard from you a lot this show so far.
I'm doing great. I also know what segment's coming up, so I don't know how great I'm going to be doing.
Okay, well, I'll let you can be the first one to answer this.
Don't make me do this.
We'll pitch this to the chat as well. This is a good one. This is a good one. So chat and Danielle, as we love to do on this sus segment, what was dipped into the floor of your face for this aftertaste?
Oh, they just get worse, don't they?
Oh, I've been doing this for a while now. We find ways.
Boy.
We find ways.
Oh boy, I think this one tastes kind of like a blow pop.
Okay.
Where it's like you got to work to get to the inside, right? Like this wasn't a very pretty game for a good portion of it, right? The first half was not pretty. But then the second half, you get nice bubble gum. So I'm going to say this is my favorite is grape.
Okay.
So I would say this is a watermelon. It's not quite a grape. It's not quite to grape level, but I think it's a watermelon blow pop, which is very good.
I live with that. Will in the chat, this one tasted like seltzer. Good, but left something to be desired. Absolutely. I like that because you obviously get the dub, you get the seltzer, but at the end of the day, you're like, could have been better. Let's see. What am I going to go with? This one tasted like a Jolly Rancher to me. Okay, and the reason I say Jolly Rancher is because for me, I don't need a lot of candy, so it smacks me in the face when, like, my taste buds, I'll have a piece of candy, and it'll literally light my mouth up. So that's what this was like when they were scoring the way that they were, as efficiently as they were, and they were doing it with multiple different people. It was like when I put a Jolly Rancher in my mouth, and it's like, oh my gosh, there is love in the world, and everything is okay, right? Like, that's exactly what it was like. And it's also like a Jolly Rancher, because I don't know about you guys. My favorite part about the Jolly Rancher, outside of the taste, is that, like, I'll leave it in my mouth, and eventually it'll get to be like this sharp little, like, sword, right? This little sword-like Jolly Rancher. And so that's exactly what's going to happen with ASU fans. You're going to leave the Jolly Rancher in your mouth too long, and you're going to start to think this team is like Duke, and they're not, okay? Maybe at some point. Maybe. Okay? Probably not, but that would be my advice. Don't leave the Jolly Rancher in your mouth too long, okay? Enjoy the win. Just be mindful of how long you got that candy in your mouth. Let's go ahead and get to my favorite segment that we have. The one, the only, Bobby Board, presented by Arizona Lottery. Don't forget to get out and buy your holiday scratchers. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Bobby Board. We got another addition to the Bobby Board right there over Sam Houston. Look, we had Danielle update this. The little baby Bobby that we have on this, if you're listening on audio, check out social media because I'm going to post this on Twitter. But there's a little baby Bobby face because the graphic had to be split for a tournament. And I hope so badly that we get another baby Bobby face on this board at some point. But Arizona State, their next game, they've got San Francisco on Sunday, then SMU and San Diego ahead. Obviously, the Sun Devils with an opportunity here to get 3 in a row. It would be a really, really step in the right direction for Bobby Hurley's team if you can have another great offensive performance the way that they had tonight. JJ, I believe, brought it up earlier. A little bit of a revenge game for Zane Meeks if he does indeed come back from injury and play on Sunday. But if you remember, Arizona State, the moment they sniffed the AP Top 25 last year, right around Christmas time, the Sun Devils got beat down by San Francisco. So surely Bobby Hurley is going to make sure his team is ready to rumble and ensure that that doesn't happen for the second year in a row. Okay, look. Arizona State, again, a 17-point dub if you've missed the highlights thus far. Jose Perez dropping 24. Frankie Collins, nearly a triple-double. And Alonzo Gaffney doing what he has done all season long, being able to block shots. Okay, Arizona State, this is a team that I think a lot of people were hitting the panic button on through the first few games of the season. I'm not going to sit here and say I was hitting the panic button. I know there were people that were already throwing this team away. I would like to say that I told you so, because that's just, I'm petty, and I hold grudges. So there were a lot of people that after the first 2 games were like, this team's bad. This team's not good. They're not a tournament team, whatever. And you just have to remember that there is this little thing out there called development and growth, right? There's a reason that these seasons are so long. There's a reason that when ASU lost to BYU, you didn't hit the panic button. There's a reason when they lost to Mississippi State, the only real shit thing you were talking about was the Barstool broadcast, right? It's because it's going to take time for these things to work, especially in this age of the transfer portal where you're only bringing back 3 guys and only 1 started. Of course you're going to have hiccups on offense. Okay? That's bound to happen. But you got to have a little bit of faith that this team and that this coaching staff that gets paid a lot of money to do what they do are not going to just lay down and throw in the towel the moment that things get tough. And that things got tough fast for this team, right? How'd they start the season? A very unimpressive offensive outing in their loss to Mississippi State. Okay. Like, this is a team that has found a way to get a 17-point dub when last week they lost by nearly 30. Okay? There's growth that's going to happen here. And I'm not sitting here and I'm not going to say that this team is going to make the NCAA tournament. I'm not sitting here and telling you that this team is going to be the best Bobby Hurley team yet. All I'm saying is we are still less than 8 games into the season? They've had how many months of preparation? We think we're just going to immediately throw it away? No, you got to give them a little bit of a chance to figure it out. Now, again, after non-conference play, you get into the Pac-12, you see some of these giants, then you'll have a better idea as to what this team is going to be throughout the rest of the season. But right now, everybody's trying to figure themselves out. If you're not a top 10 team, you're just trying to figure out who you are right now, okay? There's even top 10 teams that are still trying to figure out who they are. Like, that's the world of college basketball. It's going to take a little bit of time, okay? But I'll tell you what doesn't take a little bit of time. The effect that Wink has, okay? Wink, I love these THC products so much, okay? And Wink is the perfect amount of THC, okay? That's why they call it Wink, because it's got just a wink of THC, and it's not enough to knock your socks off, but it's going to do exactly what it needs to do to just lessen the day. Let's say you have a tough Monday at work. Your boss, he's an Arizona Wildcats fan, right? You come in after the Territorial Cup, he's just talking shit left and right, and he's your boss, right? So you can't say anything. Can't do anything. Then you go into the other office, and there's another fucking stinky Wildcat in there, Damon, just talking mess for no reason. And you're not going to say anything, right? These are your coworkers. These are your friends. So you just get a wink, take a sip, and you're just shimmying. That's exactly what you're doing, okay? That's what Wink does. It takes the edge off. It's going to make everybody feel just a little bit better. And 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and they come in multiple different flavors. Check them out. Buy them online in 12, 24, and variety packs right now, and use that promo code PHNX for an additional 50% off your order. Steven in the chat, how did someone without a real college degree become your boss? Steven, Saul Bookman, the Arizona Wildcat. That's all I've got to say. JJ, did we mention 3 steals from Frankie, the nation's leader in steals per game? Yeah, we did. Frankie Collins. He's a baller. Clip it, ship it, ladies and gentlemen. Also, while you're clipping it, see these? These right here for everybody on audio? Shady Rays. The best sunglasses in the game. That's why I wear them on these Meet Us on Mill post-game shows, because when we're celebrating with Shady Rays, and you can be a part of that group. All you got to do is head over to their brand new location where you can shop their entire collection, Kierland Commons, a full-stop shop for all things Shady Rays. And if you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There is no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. And just like all of our other great partners, Shady Rays is currently doing you guys a solid. They're in their biggest sale of the year for Black Friday. Don't miss out on the best deals for shades, snow goggles, and prescription sunglasses. Go to shadyrays.com and try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. LTC, you walk in the next day with a University Princeton t-shirt on. All is well. Yeah, it's funny. Arizona Wildcats fans just seem to forget. They seem to forget 2 things. That last year, they lost to Princeton in the NCAA tournament, who was 15 seed. And they seem to forget that they got their ass beat by, 70-7 in football not too long ago. So, yeah, let's humble ourselves just a tad, okay? And while we're doing that, while everybody's getting ready, they're having their nightcap, they're getting ready to tuck their kids in, but they had to watch the PHNX Sun Devils show first, or maybe you're starting your day, okay? You're listening to us on your way to work where, again, you have a Wildcat boss and you're just dreading it, right? You're absolutely dreading it. But you got us on and you realize we've been going for a little bit. And Danielle hits that button where she hits the music and we tell you that it's officially closing time. And we get to the takeaways of Arizona State's lovely 17-point victory. And it starts with some improved offense. Again, Arizona State winning by 17 points tonight, shooting 51% from the field, 78 total points. Jose Perez take a bow. Gaffney join him. Jemiah and Frankie do your thing. Moving on to the rotation, we saw the freshmen get some minutes tonight. We also saw Bryant Selabunge, Kamari Lands. We saw all the guys getting in there, and it looks like Bobby Hurley has found his rotation, at least for the minute. And then taking care of business to get us out of here. When Sam Houston comes to town, you expect to beat Sam Houston. Bobby Hurley and the Arizona State Sun Devils took care of business, and they beat Sam Houston. Guys, that is going to do it for tonight's PHNX Sun Devils postgame show. If you enjoyed the content, hit that like button. Do us a solid. You could follow the program at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow Danielle at Abracadanielle. Two things. Go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.